Right, hello and welcome. So today we're going to be talking about one of the biggest issues that Gran Turismo faces, and that's its own player base. So, if we have to take a look at Gran Turismo, well, starting off, Gran Turismo started off life as a simple game where people could experience real cars with real handling models. You know, very closely related to what the actual car would feel like. Now the game still does that, but with a lot more variety, and this is where the issue occurs, because yes, they're basically suffering from their own creation, because with Gran Turismo, the franchise has evolved over time from just only focusing on driving certain cars to broadening their horizons by you being able to collect as many cars, become a full-on photographer, a designer when it comes to liveries, a tuner, and you know, those are all sub-genres. But I think the biggest one has to be the difference between single player and multiplayer. Now, when it comes to single player players and multiplayer players, they seem to be on two different ends of the scale. And when Gran Turismo decided, you know what, we are gonna dip our finger into the world of sports, or just esports in fact, well, they opened a new can of worms and multiplayer came to be. Now, if we see that Gran Turismo single player, previously it was all focused on pushing the fact of, you like a car, well, we're gonna give you 17 different variations of that car, so no matter which one you're feeling for, well, you can get behind the wheel of it. And we see that Gran Turismo 7 still offers that, as we see that we have multiple different versions of the Nissan Silvia, and that's just an example. We have how many different variations of the Porsche Carrera. They give every possible option that a player would want to own, and they try to push it and give it the most realistic feel possible. And now sports mode, well, this is where you're gonna find your hardcore, your intense racing, where players can go head to head against other players. And honestly, some people say it was the greatest addition to the Gran Turismo franchise. Others say it takes away from what Gran Turismo actually is. And in my opinion, honestly, I have no issue with Gran Turismo Sports. Well, the sports mode within Gran Turismo, and that's because it takes, or it gives you the option of spicing it up. Say you get tired of grinding and doing the same old races against the AI in Gran Turismo, well, you still have the ability to jump on online and actually test your skills out against real people, because there's only so much you can do in single player, to a point where you go into a routine, into a slump, because you play the same old events in the same amount of cars, because you end up just picking a favorite and sticking to it. Whereas sports mode, you can jump in the same car that you always use and never know what you're gonna expect when it comes to the lobby that you put in. No matter if you're an S class driver or a D class driver, no matter what lobby you're put in, you never know what you're gonna expect or how good the racing is gonna be. Because even if you're in the slowest VW Samba bus or in the fastest Group 1 vehicles, the racing is always gonna be intense. But the issue between these two players are the fact that single players, so they're single or solo players, they have more of, okay, let me not say a passion, but they're more dedicated to the single player side of the game, which includes your money grinding, your car collecting, and just spending hours upon hours on trying out every single car and just wanting more street cars. Whereas the multiplayer side of things, well, you're gonna find players wanting to just jump in, have a few races, have a few wins hopefully, and possibly rage. You know, the usual online gaming experience. Now, as you can see, that is a big difference, because you got one player, solo player, who's gonna spend hours upon hours dedicating so much of their life to the game, and you have your more casual players where they jump onto online and they just play a few races, jump into whatever car, because with sports mode they provide you with cars. You do not need to own specific cars to participate in events. You can simply just rent a vehicle and enjoy yourself. So you do see how there is a bit of conflict when it comes to the updates in Gran Turismo. They have been trying to provide for everyone, whether you're a photographer, a tuner, a livery designer, or a die-hard single player fan or a die-hard multiplayer fan. They try to give you a bit of everything, and this is where the issue arises, because single player people are more accepting of whether you get race cars or if you get street cars in the game. However, multiplayer people, they don't really see the need for street cars, because this is a racing game. They want racing cars. And the thing is, Gran Turismo, yes, it started off with race cars, but it also had a load of street cars, because the game is the real driving simulator. They want their player base to experience however many cars, whatever car you want to experience, from anything from a full-on K car to a Le Mans hypercar. Whatever you fancy, you can be able to jump behind the wheel of it and try it out. Now, the multiplayer players often complain, and that was seen with update 1.40 to Gran Turismo 7. Update 40 was the spec 2 update to Gran Turismo 7, which saw several brand new cars come to the game, and none of them were any new race cars. And that's the biggest issue that I think sports mode players have, besides the penalty system not working and dirty driving. And okay, there's a lot of issues that they have, but new cars is one of the big ones. Because if we look at other racing games for a minute, for example, your Forza Motorsport, I know we don't talk about that, but Forza Motorsport, they add some of the latest race cars out there, and frankly, us as Gran Turismo players see that and we're like, dang, you know, when is it our turn? When are we gonna get that? And hopefully in the upcoming year we see a lot more race cars come to a game and are more modern and actually highly requested, because now that we've gotten some of the most highly requested street cars in the game, it's only fair that we get some of the most highly requested race cars. Now I know licensing issues and just as a whole, it's more deeper than just put this car in the game, put that car in the game. There's a lot that goes into it. That's why I hope that there is some sorts of new race cars that we do get in the game. But honestly, the divide between the players honestly just ruins the game, because it takes away from the joy, or because we need to see it from Polyphony's point of view, because they put so much time and effort into his updates to make it, or to just try to make everyone happy. But the thing is, with everyone being so diverse, not everyone's gonna be happy with what is provided. And we see that with update 1.40, which was the biggest update in Gran Turismo 7 history. And honestly, it was kind of heartbreaking to see that there was such an uproar, that there were no brand new race cars. But I can understand where the multiplayer guys are coming from. So I want to hear from you guys. Are you more of a single player fan or a multiplayer tryhard? Now don't get offended about tryhard, but I mean, just, are you more on the multiplayer side of things? Because honestly, for me, at the end of the day, I see Gran Turismo as just a pure racing game, a full-on simulator. Because if I decide, you know what, I want to drive this car, I just want to experience this car, I'm gonna do that. Whether it's a race car, whether it's a street car, it does not matter, because I know the time and effort that's gone into these cars are just honestly, it's incredible to see how far Gran Turismo as a franchise has come. And I hope that soon that Polyphony will manage to add a few more race cars and sort of balance out the attention given to both single player as well as multiplayer, because currently that's kind of the biggest issue that is separating the players within Gran Turismo 7. So with all this being said, I hope you guys do go on to enjoy today's ramble, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.